What turns you on more, like softer moans or like when it's aggressive?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm a freak.
Me too.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Out. Today we're talking Love is Blind. It's back, season
5. Yeah, baby.
Oh,
we all
yeah,
been waiting for this for a long time.
for this
Yeah,
show.
Yeah,
Got our
yeah,
gold
yeah,
cups.
Yeah. What
The hell?
Oh, no.
Here.
Oh no!
It's all these damn bubbles.
Oh man, what's going on with all the bokeh balls in the show?
That's too much. It's
Yeah,
too
no
much.
kidding.
I'd like to be
Try
able
to
to
get
see
fancy
the
with
show.
it.
Then you
Little
got
rainbows
yeah,
popping
rainbows
up.
on
I
people's
don't,
faces. Look,
no
that's
pot of
why
gold
here,
though.
man.
I don't think there's
I
any
know,
pot
right?
of gold at the end of this rainbow.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, they definitely overdid it with the bokeh balls.
Yeah, they totally did.
Yeah, so it's back. We got Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey.
Yeah, so I love how the Netflix took everybody's ideas, like all the viewers who said, "Hey, you should totally get rid of those two," and they actually got rid of them. But no, wait, actually they didn't. They just said, "Fuck you guys, we're keeping them anyway."
Yeah, but you don't see them, so it's fine.
They're there for
And
like
yeah.
30 seconds,
Right? Yeah,
and then they're gone.
I wonder how much they get paid for that.
A lot.
probably a lot of money to get 30 seconds. That's
A
probably,
lot.
That's probably the
Wow.
most paid 30 seconds that anybody will ever get in their life. Right there, man.
But I'm digging it so far because they ask hard, important questions. Like,
Some of them did, yeah.
yeah, like,
Marry, fuck, kill. Waffles, pancakes, or French toast.
What?
so that's a tough
That
choice.
is their choice, no doubt about it.
And we didn't even get the answer to that question.
It's
Like,
easy. What is
Yeah.
it?
it's the marry F kill scenario, and
Yeah.
I didn't get a response.
What's your response?
Pancakes?
Nope.
Pancakes.
French toast, man.
Yep.
French toast.
Pancakes. So
French
you with
toast.
me on the
French toast,
pancakes?
French toast.
Drop a like and
But- and-
French toast all the way.
And give me some of that bacon, too. Give me some of that bacon.
Yeah, I'll take bacon too.
There's a lot of mineral talk this season.
If you're into like rocks and minerals and we can observe things under my polarizing microscopes, I'm
Oh
down.
my god, you're such a nerd. I love it.
Yeah, there's a couple of geologists on here talking about different stones. and-
Engineers,
Yeah.
geologists,
Lawyers.
gemologists. I
There's
don't know
two
what the
lawyers.
heck's going
A
on.
bunch of nerds, man.
Milton's getting real deep into
Oh,
it.
dude.
Like,
And Milton is your like quintessential nerd, man. Dude's got
Yeah.
the look, he's got the freaking attitude. That dude's totally nerdy.
I mean,
man.
he's
Down
kind
to
of
the
going off
core.
the deep end, getting a little too deep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know if she realizes like he ain't joking around.
Yeah.
Didn't he confess about the Pokemon thing too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See,
He's a
Pokemon
major
play-
player in the
'Cause
Pokemon.
he had initially just mentioned how mature he was, and he's like, "I'm really." Big
He's like,
into
look,
Pokemon."
am I gonna have to ask your permission to go outside and play Pokemon with my friends? I was like, oh, man, this chick's she is not gonna like that.
You know, Ernesto like burps in the presence of Stacy.
Normally your type, just curious.
Physical's never really been a thing for me. Did
Okay.
you just burp?
I did. Was that a good one?
Oh my god!
Was that a good one? It wasn't a fart. It could have been worse.
Yeah, she didn't really appreciate
She's like, you just burp. He's like, yeah.
She said she burps all the time, and it's fine. You just have to say, "Excuse me,"
yeah.
and he just moved on like it didn't happen.
Wait, what are you
She
talking?
didn't like that.
Yeah, maybe she didn't.
Nope. So
But
what do we?
he was fine because it wasn't a fart.
Well, and then
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
Well, and that's
Could be
like all,
worse.
and that's all we got of Ernesto, right? Like get that little glimpse up, and then that was
yeah,
it.
I forgot
so.
that guy.
I mean, there's a
Actually,
lot of
yes.
people. I think there's 15 guys, 15 girls, and you don't see half of them.
Yeah,
I think
see
we,
that.
I think we probably saw less this season of people than we have in any other season. And they focus so much on like
I
very
agree,
very small
yeah.
group this season.
Can we?
But if they're not going to follow them through the rest of the season,
Yeah.
is
Can
that
we
smart?
get like when the season's over? Can we get like the B-roll tape? Can we get like all these other
See,
relationships?
that's what Netflix
Yeah.
should do, man. They should totally put out like a B-roll tape after the season.
The
and show
losers
it.
reel?
Yeah, like losers reel. That'd be awesome.
Exactly. It
Oh,
turns
yeah.
out they actually had the most successful marriage.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do we think about this cast that they do show? Billy, who stands out to you the most?
So, like, as far as annoyance, man, Lydia.
Annoyance?
That chick annoys, Lydia annoys the hell out of me, man.
I think
yeah?
he was looking for who you liked.
I know he was. And that's what I'm getting at. There wasn't anybody that I super liked. I was like, oh, man. Like, I mean, you know, Aaliyah's a sweetheart. At least, you know, I was really digging Aaliyah at first. She was a sweetheart. But then, you know, later on, what she does, you know, we'll talk about that, like, totally turned me off to her. Stacy's cool. I like Stacy. I don't think Stacy's serious enough at all. Like, she doesn't get into any, like, deep conversation. It's almost like is she really here to find love? You know, what
Yeah,
I
I'm
think so.
questioning that as
Yeah.
I
well.
think she's just a little standoffish,
Yeah, she's
and I
definitely
actually
standoffish.
respect that
Yeah.
people don't just rush out and say "I love you" the first time they
Well,
meet
it
someone.
ain't about her not saying I love you. It's about her just not even getting in any deep
Like,
conversation.
and he has mentioned it that
Yeah.
he wanted that,
Right.
and she doesn't seem. She's like,
no,
yeah,
she said, "Look, I'm not gonna do
She's
that."
fine. She's gonna be fine.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
But
We'll
I do
see.
like Stacey though. She's growing on me more and more because
She is.
because she's gotten better. And I tell you what I really appreciate about her is she is not a gossiper. She doesn't get in there and
Yeah.
gossip and all that crap. You know, she stays out of it. She's like,
Mhm.
look, that's not me. I'm not
That's
gonna
what
do
I'm
that.
saying. I
And
think
that's-
she's got a lot of
that's
emotional
awesome.
intelligence.
Yeah, she definitely got a lot of emotional intelligence, no doubt about it. So
All
that's
right,
good.
Ashley, who
Something
you got?
Something I did notice about Stacey was her shoes in the pod. She's wearing like the $600-700, like I forget the brand, but they're the dirty tennis shoes.
Like they're meant to be dirty?
Yeah, you buy them for $700 and they look like they've been thrown in the trash.
Damn, man, I just need to go piss on some tennis shoes. Holy crap!
I
sell
got
them
some old tennis shoes I
I
can
don't
like
know if
sell
they're
somebody.
knockoffs or
Right.
they're the legit thing, but you can see them in one of the scenes.
So
in the
she's
pod.
kind of highbrow, huh?
I think so. I think so. Well, or maybe she's smart about it. Maybe they're knockoffs, and she's smart about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say she's probably highbrow, just based on looking at her and the way she, the way she acts and everything. I'd
She
say
did
probably
mention
is.
Botox once.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Well, that's
I don't know
probably,
if she takes it or not, but
that's probably
she
smart.
did mention it.
That's probably smart. Yeah.
Who stands out to you?
Girl wise, I like Aaliyah. I still like Aaliyah, but I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Girl wise, like I don't know. I just don't think I'm seeing a lot. There's so many other women out there that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
tell
on the
you.
show, what do we see? Aaliyah, Stacey, is it Johnny?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah. I forgot about Johnny. Yeah.
And Lydia.
How can
Like
you
that's
forget
it,
about
right?
Johnny?
Just the four.
I'll tell you who I like the best. Renee. And we don't see any bit of her hardly. We just see her when she's hanging out with the other girls, but she's like the veterinarian chick.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
she's very attractive.
She's
There's
okay.
very
Beating
attractive
people in arm
women there.
wrestling.
I can
Yeah.
see in the background, like,
That's
and
right.
they even
Forgot
like
about her.
focus in on their faces in the conversations, but they don't put up their name. I'm like, I don't know who you are, but you're
Dude,
pretty. But
they-
like, I don't know what they're. Obviously, they weren't having connections in the
When-
pod.
maybe.
when they were walking into the pods, freaking what's that dude's name? Izzy. He was talking to this one dude, and under Izzy's thing, it said his name said Izzy, and the other guy said man number 2.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it said man number 2.
They wouldn't listen to my boy's name.
Yeah, I was
Holy
like,
cow.
holy crap.
But as far as guys go, Izzy was it for me. Like Izzy was it for me from the beginning. I liked Uche, and then I really, really did not like Uche.
See, Uche's got a lot of emotional intelligence, I think, man. That dude, I mean,
Uche,
I like
Uche has a
man.
lot
I
of
like Uche.
superiority complex.
I like
See,
Chris.
I don't
He's
know.
got a little David Duchovny in him.
Yeah, Chris
I
is-
like him.
Chris.
I do like
Yeah,
him
Chris
too.
is like a sweetheart, man. He's a really sweet,
Yeah,
genuine
and
dude,
he's
you
getting
know?
screwed right
Yeah,
now.
Oh, yeah.
I do like him. And then Izzy kind of does some things that I don't really like, but
He's all right.
I really like Izzy.
Well, Johnny's divorced, and what do you think of that? We always get one of these types, and
Yeah.
and here's what irritates me about Johnny.
These types, like
Yeah, like you always get the divorce type,
Divorcees,
and,
yeah.
yeah. But like
We all
she
know about that.
says, her husband was a rebound guy.
we
Yeah,
don't all know.
that-
Johnny
was
puts
messed
a
up,
lot
man.
of red flags out there.
Oh
for
yeah, she
me.
does, and she even says like I'm a walking red flag. Like she knows she is. So like, yeah,
But
you know,
she also okay. So there are things about her that are kind of red flags, but and then
kind of.
well, her past is definitely
Yeah, there's a
a
lot.
red flag. But let's be real, all of them probably have red flags in their past. It's what's
You don't
going
want
on
to
in
judge
the
people on their
present.
past. You want to judge them on the 2 seconds you know them.
I'm talking right now in the pods. There are red flags that people aren't noticing in the pods. When you talk about her past, it's like okay, you can have the conversation about it, but I feel like she's grown from that. But I do.
She lies.
Mhm.
Flat out lies.
And she lies with the truth.
Exactly.
Meaning, like,
Exactly.
she will be honest
She
about what
twists it,
she's saying, but she knows deep
She
down
twists
she's
it a little
manipulating
bit,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, she
Well,
twists
I
that
think
truth
she's
back
doing
around.
that to make herself happy. Like, I don't think she was that way until after Izzy rejected her, and then she is like, okay, well, let me, reevaluate the situation, and she's trying to twist it. It's like maybe, so she could still have a positive outcome of the situation with Chris.
Yeah, no, she
And
lied.
then that's where I kind of where she loses me.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, I wish we'd see more from some of these people. Like, we see Justice for like a hot minute, and he said everyone has one God-given talent.
Right.
I'm really good at cunnilingus. I know it's my God-given talent. Everybody gets one God-given talent.
Ooh.
Mine's cunnilingus.
And they're like, oh man.
Yeah, I'm with you, Justice. I know about that, man. It's good.
And then Chris gets asked if he like is a handyman or something.
Oh, yeah.
I could see a man see something messed up and start fixing it and just get wet.
He's like,
Yeah, yeah. And then she said it gets her wet. She's like, oh yeah, anytime a guy can just walk up and fix something, man.
Yeah,
just
he's
be all
like,
wet.
what? And he's like, no, I don't get like
don't-
excited fixing crap.
Right.
Don't forget the fisherman.
Yeah, the fisherman.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him real quick too.
Yeah, you do. He's like,
Yeah.
you like
well,
fishing?
here's the thing: is I don't like the smell of fish. I don't want anything to do with fish. You tell me you're a fisherman, it's like, well, we don't even really need to continue this date. Like,
Yeah.
it's not happening. You could be the hottest guy, the sweetest guy. Like your
Why?
career
What
is
do
not
you-
compatible with my
Well,
life.
He just go fish with his boys, and you don't.
He's
get
gonna
wet.
come home smelling
You
like
gotta
fish.
get
That's
wet.
nasty. No.
Yeah.
And he's
So-
gonna want to eat fish.
Let's get into Johnny a little bit more.
What about her?
Let's dive deep,
Right.
Joshua.
Well, she's talking with Chris and Izzy, right? And she's like going back and forth. And Chris at one point admits like he was practically
I
raped.
love with her, man. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like, I was like, huh? It's like, bro, I didn't quite get that, man. He's like, I was telling her no, and she just took advantage
Yeah,
of me.
Billy. I think that he says
No
that
means
people
no,
like,
Billy.
yeah, I
No
think
means
he's
no, he does. You're right.
actually- That's one of the things he says that people just don't really
Yeah, no,
empathize with that
but
because they don't think it's possible.
right. He's like, I really didn't want to do it. It's like you couldn't just like toss her off, I mean, I get it. He's in a room with his friend and the
He
other
probably
girl.
could, but
he felt, he felt awkward about it.
And that's what he's trying to say. And he doesn't use the word rape. And
No, he
they
doesn't.
imply
Yeah.
like kind of taken advantage of. And I get it. He
Yeah.
probably was.
Especially when you get
And I think he
alcohol
was
involved, and he's kind of like, So,
I think he was actually very sensitive not to use that word
Yeah.
no
because
doubt.
I'm sure physically he could have pushed her off, done something,
Like, yeah,
and that could have probably turned out badly for him as well. But he was definitely taken advantage of, and like,
Yeah.
When
he was a kid, he was
see that.
17,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
mhm.
But like, there's a lot going on here. And Izzy's even like at first hooking up with kind of like Lydia as well. And then he cuts her loose pretty early.
Yeah, he does. Well, and you know what though, man, I give him props for that because he didn't drag her along.
Mm-hmm.
He cut her off early. He said, "Look, I'm just not feeling it here. There's other women that I'm feeling more." And she's like, "Well, what is it about me? What is it about me?" He's like, "I just don't have that the chemistry. It just ain't there."
Yeah, she couldn't get past that, and then she even went back into with the girls, and she was like, "He just didn't give me a good reason." And it's like, it's not you. It's just
Right.
he has a
That's how he
connection with
feels.
somebody else. It's
I mean,
like,
that's happens here. There's 15 people.
Exactly, man. He's talking to a
Yeah.
lot of people in this.
so. I mean, I guess it's hard not to take it personally, but you can't take it personally in that scenario.
Dude, but how about
But
them,
Aaliyah and her are getting tight during that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about them cracking that bubbly open at like 8:00 on Sunday morning, man? I was like, damn. And the girls in there popping the champagne, and it's
Yeah, start early, man.
They're just waking up like first thing Sunday morning. Well, we always hear, we've heard that kind of
Get
stuff
it
going on.
popping, baby.
We've heard that stuff going on about Netflix and kind of the issues with that stuff, and they're showing it on this show, man. That shit's popping open early. And
Hey.
like, damn.
I don't see the problem.
Yeah, right.
Well, maybe they just got it there and they decide to do it. It's like, hey,
Yeah, why not?
You know?
Yeah.
Did they have orange juice?
they have.
It's okay.
They got everything.
There's
yeah,
orange
they have
juice.
everything there.
They got it
If
all.
Your
there's orange
trash
juice,
is
it makes
full
it
on the
okay.
show,
That's right, that's right,
so
that's right.
people are going through some
Yeah, the
stuff.
kitchens,
They got-
both the men and women's kitchen looked nasty, dirty.
I thought it was kind of hilarious when like Aaliyah gets like rejected a little bit. She has like a Pringles thing,
Yeah,
and someone takes
Somebody
it
took it away from her. I was like, yeah.
I was like,
You
what?
don't need these. You don't need
Like,
them.
sorry,
Where'd
girl.
my Pringles go?
My damn Pringles.
Food is not.
She was holding on
support.
to that. Uche and Aaliyah, though, man, this one's kind
That's
of
crazy, dude.
interesting.
Well, when it pops out that him and Lydia like freaking had a relationship prior.
You're skipping way
Whoa,
ahead.
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa.
I mean, the first issue they have is she admits to cheating.
Cheating, yeah, no doubt.
2 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
and then Uche don't like this.
No,
And
he's
he
like-
like
he's
interrogates her.
He's like 2 years ago. It was pretty recent. She's like, dude, it's like a long time ago. He's like, no, that shit ain't.
It's
He's like,
really
no.
not.
He's like, it's not. And he's right. 2 years ago really ain't, but at the same time,
It
people can-
is.
But people can grow in 2 years. 2 years you can grow. And she
Yeah,
even
I'd
said,
like
look,
to- well, what did he do 3 months ago?
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I
he
mean-
just had a regular relationship. It's
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
not the same, I don't think.
But she, but the fact, and he said it later. The fact that she actually told him about it, that says a lot about her. Right?
Yeah, but she didn't tell that guy,
Yeah.
did she?
No, she didn't tell the guy exactly. But
But
she
also-
could have lied about that to him
She
as
could
well.
have.
But she didn't.
And you could tell she felt bad about it. You could tell that she felt wrong. She knew this was something she did that was wrong.
You know who her reason was the whole sexual thing, so she should have hooked up with a farmer.
Yeah.
Should've got her.
But
should've
here's
got her
my
to that
problem
farmer.
with how Uche handled it.
Or
He
fisherman, I mean.
handled it like a therapist. He handled it like he was trying to
Smartly, I know.
he was superior to her and
No, he didn't, man.
he really did.
I
He
really
was
don't
very
think so.
condescending to her and the way and she was just taking it and I get it. It's a tough situation for him to have to accept that about her. And it's a negative thing about her. I get that. But this is a red flag to me, the way he handled the
So I
situation.
don't think he was condescending. I
He
think
gets the red flag from being told by
Because
the
he's
woman who
behaving that
just
way.
cheated
Right,
on
cheated,
someone. He didn't
right.
tell him. Like,
I understand.
Nah,
I'm
man.
saying that sure, her
No.
cheating was a red flag, but his red flag is right now in the present, the way he's talking to her and treating her in this moment when she's being vulnerable and confessing to him her biggest, darkest, like worst thing she's done in a relationship, and this is how he's like judging her for it. Believe me, he's gonna be this way
Not
in
good.
the future about every
oh
decision.
yeah,
he
anytime
makes.
you cheat on someone, I'm sure he's going to be this way in the future.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I
I'm
agree with that.
talking about
too.
any decision.
yeah, but you're thinking
You're,
that,
again, you don't see it because that's how you are.
but you're thinking, look,
Yeah,
this
okay.
guy's looking like
That's-
okay.
I never cheated on anyone in my life.
It's not. I didn't say that. I said that you're judgmental. You're judgmental.
Well,
and he's
I'll
very
put it to you this way:
judgmental.
these people are in here getting to know somebody new. So anytime somebody says, "Yeah, I've cheated before," that's going to be a fucking red flag for anybody, right?
I get it.
And then
I'm
when they
not
say,
saying it's
"Yeah,"
not.
and then when they say, "Yeah, really, it was just 2 years ago," it's like, whoa. To anybody, that's gonna be like, okay, well, tell me, it's a little odd. But could he have been a little nicer by the way he handled it? Sure, but at the same time, I don't think he was an asshole about it.
Yeah, I
really
don't think so either.
I mean, he could have been a little nicer, but he definitely wasn't an asshole, and I don't think he was condescending.
And she's like, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "How about you dump them and then you move
Right?
on?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and exactly. So he's walking her through it like a therapist, like how she should have handled it, telling her she handled it wrong, all this other stuff. And yeah, there's a way to do it and a way to have that conversation. And I'm telling you, this is any disagreements they have in the future, it's not going to
Now,
bode well for her.
What I will say is when they came back and talked about it, she did say, are all of our conversations going to be pretty? And she's like, no, we're going to have conversations like this that we got to walk through and all that. And, and she explained herself pretty well, like how she felt. And he's like, look, you know what? You're right. In the moment I kind of handled it wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad when I was talking about it. But, it just kind of took me by surprise, as it would anybody.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
So-
these guys aren't given any time to process this.
Right.
I almost wish they'd step out of the room. And some people do this, but
Right.
like,
Yeah.
hey, I need a minute to because you just dropped a bomb on me. You know what I mean? And like, I'm trying to find my forever person, and that's generally not a quality you want to
Right,
hear
right.
about.
Right.
So-
And I wouldn't have expected him to handle it whereas in like, oh, okay, well that's in the past. I trust you now. Like and wash over it. It's obviously a quality he has to like
Well, and that's what
get
he does.
past.
He
I
goes
get
like,
it, but-
"Hey, you didn't have to tell me that. You're being honest, so
And he even said
you
that
got to
with
get credit for that." So
And he even says it with the guys. He's like, she started bombshell on me that she didn't have to tell me, and it's
Yeah.
like, and the thing is, and
after
she
he
could
lectured her and made her feel bad and gave her a life lesson. That's all.
And he could have
Yeah.
even, and she could have even lied and said, yeah, it was 7 years ago. She didn't have to tell him, how recent it was and all that. So, I mean, I do give her credit for that. She was completely honest with him about it. And so, rightfully so, when he had the chance to actually leave and actually think about it, he's like, shit, she didn't have to tell me all that,
Right.
So,
yeah, so maybe she has moved on by it, but like, you have to be honest if you're trying to find your forever person and make it work, right? Because if he would have found out about this later and then like, hey, this
Oh,
is a
yeah,
big thing, you
huge
didn't tell me
problem.
that. Now it's a bigger problem than
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
just being forthright about it. So
But I guess it's okay. We'll just keep secrets in until we're ready to tell them.
now that is messed up. What he drops
Yeah.
on her later on is jacked up that because he should have dropped it right then. He should
Right.
have said,
He's
like,
like,
you know
well,
what?
you're being honest with me. I
Yeah,
got
let's
something to
take me
tell
out
you
to
too.
Yeah, he should have. No doubt
But
about it.
no, because he was too busy judging her for hers. Sorry.
I don't think cheating is the same as like, hey, I had a relationship with a girl that's over.
I didn't say it
doesn't
was the
even-
same.
you
But
know.
he
I
should
didn't
have
say
told
it
her.
was the same.
He should have told her about his pre-pod relationship right then when all that came
I'm
out.
not
He
saying
should've.
that cheating is right. I'm not saying.
I actually think it's worse that Lydia, who was snuggling
I do
up to
agree
her,
with that.
didn't reveal that.
I do agree with that.
And I get why Lydia didn't. She didn't want to ruin the experience. It's like, hey, she needs to get to know him for who he is, and not throw this in the
And
mix
she
of
did
it.
really great with keeping it
But-
secret till the end.
Yeah. Oh, and then at the end, when Lydia's going into the details of what happened, at that point, it's almost like she's just trying to poke at her and dig.
Yeah.
At that, it wasn't friendly, even though she's trying to
She's
say
trying
I'm
to
a
make
great
it
I
friend.
am shocked that Aaliyah was like the way she responded when she was initially told that. Like she got closer to Lydia, and I'm
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
What?
surprised at that.
Well, but then in the one-on-one with the camera, she's like, Lydia's saying all this stuff that I don't want to hear, and it's kind of pissing me off.
yeah.
It's like, okay, so you need to think about that. Why is Lydia saying it to you? That
Yeah,
way,
well,
right?
and I
So-
think that's what ultimately happens, right? It's like, and when she's saying that, she literally says to Lydia, I don't want to know. She's like, do you want me to tell you? She's like, no, I don't want to
Just
know
tells her
anything.
anyway.
Don't tell me. And then she just keeps talking. And at that point in time, Aaliyah should have been like, look, I said I don't want to hear it. Like,
Yeah, and then they show, them Uche, like he's the one essentially says, "No, I don't want to experiment," and this is like
Yeah.
breaking the experiment. So I
Uh-huh.
respect him for all
Absolutely.
he
Yeah.
said. Should he have told her earlier? Yeah, but I don't think there's any ill intention there. And that wasn't his doing.
Yeah, well, then Lydia kind of lied to Aaliyah because Lydia's like, we discussed, potentially, doing this, all that, and like, no, you didn't. You brought it up, and he flat out shut you down right off the bat.
That's true. She did lie about that.
Yeah.
It ruins the
experience in the moment?
experiment. Yeah.
So you don't think it's even worth it to even get to know each other more?
However, the other thing that he failed to mention was that it was just 3 months ago the last
No,
time
he
they
didn't
slept
mention that.
together.
You're right.
And 2 years ago, for her to make a mistake when he, that's like not that long ago, but 3 months ago. And yes, it was a consensual relationship that they were in,
Right.
but he was in a sexual relationship with a person that's right there with them 3 months ago. You think that's kind of important.
In January this year, and we slept together and all that stuff. It's just
Yeah, and I'm not
I'm just
gonna.
saying.
I'm not saying he was right for freaking doing what he did. He was wrong for not telling her sooner. He should have told her sooner. But there is still a difference between cheating and having such a relationship.
I also
Big
think,
difference.
but I do also think, and I just want to really put this out there. I'm not condoning the cheating. I don't think it was right. I don't like the way he handled it with her. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I do think Lydia should have told her before he did.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm shocked that she wasn't like questioning her about that at all, and she actually thought it was a good thing, almost like hugging her out after that. And I'm like,
it was crazy, dude. Yeah.
I really
that would
think
strain my friendship after
No.
that.
they should be in the relationship,
Yeah.
obviously.
Now, in the final, and even then, you're feeling for Aaliyah, like, okay, I feel for her. This sucks. Yeah, shitty situation. Then, at the end, she freaking just straight up ghosts him.
Hey, baby.
The announcer's like, hey, Alte.
Yeah, this
sorry,
is
I'm not
surprising
gonna-"
because they seem to hash it out, and I'm actually like, this couple can get through a lot because they've already been through a lot. But
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no doubt. That ghosting
I
was
think
crazy.
maybe she saw the red flags that I see.
Even if she did, she
Yeah.
should have came in
Yeah,
there. and
that's not
said-
how you do it. You
No,
don't
she should've
schedule a
said,
date
"Look,
and then just show up."
I can't get past this. You told me this.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
She should shut up.
That's true.
She just leaves him hanging, and he has no idea that there's even like strife in this relationship. I don't think at this point.
Right, exactly.
So.
I think he has idea there's strife.
Well, but not to the
No,
extent
because
where
it
she's not
ends,
gonna
it
show up.
ends pretty good
Yeah.
before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
exactly.
talking about their future and everything else. So
Yeah.
why would he suspect like, oh, dang.
She's just gonna ghost
It's
him.
because of the conversation she had with Lydia.
Right.
So
Yeah, Lydia spooked her, I think.
Oh yeah, she did.
And I mean, she went way too far talking about the sex and all. Like, why would you tell her that?
Yeah.
Like, how is that going to be a positive
Yeah,
thing
there-
at the end of the day?
She didn't tell it to be positive. She told it to kind of dig at her, even though she's trying to be her friend or pretend like she's a friend. Like, dude, you don't do that shit to your friends.
Yeah,
no.
that she don't need to hear that. So let's get to a more positive couple. Let's talk about JP and Taylor.
Yeah, I was about to say that, man. Yeah, JP and Taylor, I like them, man. I like, you don't really see them talking to anybody else, right? It just
Mhm.
focuses on those two
Yep.
talking to each other all the time. And, I think Taylor's like, what, like a 25-year-old teacher. JP's a 30-year-old firefighter.
Yep.
And they seem to get along really well, man. They're
Sugar and sugar butt.
Yeah,
Yeah, sugar, but they already have their nicknames and everything.
Exactly. So I liked watching those two interact, and it seemed just very positive. Just a relationship they got going. so
And
far.
she asked him a simple question about like his family life, and he gets very emotional.
Oh yeah, about
Yeah.
his childhood. Yeah. So what's your
Yeah.
childhood like? He
Yeah.
said his mom was basically an asshole. I guess growing
Yeah,
up.
almost
So-
like abusive or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. Like especially he doesn't mention his dad, so maybe he's not in the picture.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
he does.
he does
kinda
mention it a little bit, but
Yeah,
you
that,
make it seem like something wasn't right there. And
Yeah.
that there was some issues between his mom and his dad, and then I guess she was just trying to take that out on the kids,
the
or
kids,
not
yeah.
trying to take it out on the kids, or prevent them from having to or put themselves in the same situation. I don't know. She's obviously handled it wrong. So it'd be interesting on the hometown.
Yeah, and that
You
sucks
know,
too
meeting
to
the
not
parents,
have
how
your
that
mom
goes.
be comforting and be that support person for you. But
Yeah.
but he seems to have turned out all right.
Yeah, overall, I thought they were a match. I was like, hey, these two match up pretty well. I think this is going to go well with these two. So, but I mean, obviously, in the previews, it makes it sound like there might be some issues. But again, we've seen that shit before where, the editors try to make a mountain out of a molehill. And then when we watched the episode, it was nothing, right? So,
And these two are like vibing pretty strong, and he's the first to pop the question of all of them
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her. So and they meet, and everything seems to be going good for this couple right now.
he was like aggressive with his kisses, man. He was like, pulling her-
I know.
We're like,
It
"Damn."
was
Kisses were
like,
awkward.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like they were like slapping her in the face kisses, and there was no
It wasn't-
sensual,
yeah.
like passion
Yeah, I
to
mean,
it. It was
I
just
was like, what the hell is this dude doing, man?
He's like pecking at her.
Right.
Like,
and then he grabbed her and he was like a beer hug. it was a little awkward, but
He's got time to work on that.
Right,
it's got to be difficult. You know, you form this emotional connection in the pod. You can't just come out and physically make it work. Like there's some
people do. We've seen some people that have come out right off the bat because we make it work.
This is the 5th season. I've seen like 2 couples look pretty somewhat natural.
But if you're gonna kiss a girl that you're trying to be intimate with, man, you ain't just. That was just. It was like, what the hell? It's like, man,
he's excited, man.
Yeah, he's excited, right?
I think these two are cute, and I'm rooting for them
Oh,
because
yeah, no doubt.
I mean, there's really not too many red flags with how they interact with each other. I don't think on this.
But I love how she says, she's like, you know, I fell in love with the person. Love truly is blind. You know, the gap doesn't bother me at all. Like talking about his teeth, I'm like, so the gap bothers you.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because she says, you know, the gap, you know, I would typically not go for a guy like that, you know.
And she
so
had
it does
this.
bother
I am
you.
a little worried because she had this vision in her head of a blonde guy,
Yeah.
and she asked him like, "What did you envision?" He's like, "I tried not to because I didn't want to be like
And that's smart.
you know,
Yeah.
disappointed or
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah, I loved his answer on that. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm not trying to pick. And he even
That's
said it to
smart.
the one-on-one
I
too.
think
Like,
that's very hard to do. Though.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like even from like minute 1 in the pod before you even form the connection, you hear the voice. You're probably picturing somebody or something.
Yeah, especially
you know.
depending on how the voice is, no doubt. You are.
So Izzy's going back and forth between Johnny and Stacy, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Johnny and Stacey.
Stacy, yeah, Stacy.
So and of course Johnny.
What do you think about?
Well,
those
Johnny
three?
drops the bombshell. Look, I've been married before, and Izzy's like, "Oh, well, I've been engaged before." So they kind of had that. They were, talking about, and I thought they had a good connection. And she was definitely getting a lot deeper with him, and they seemed to have a deeper connection. And he mentioned that, she mentioned that, but then with Stacy, it was definitely more just like they
Fun.
mentioned fun,
Yeah,
more
fun,
fun, more. But Stacy, and again, we talked about this earlier. She never really opened up to him the way that Johnny did. So,
And I thought that maybe she would, and maybe she did, and they're just not showing us, and that's why he ultimately leaned that way. But like when she said, she's like, yeah, it's just not something
it's not me.
it's just not who I am. It's
Yeah,
like
I
not
don't
who I
think
do.
so.
So does she just never do it? Like so, like
I think
guess
she has a hard time getting in touch with her soft emotions.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
And I think that's just her. I don't think it.
But I feel like he needs someone who can. So I don't know if that works for them.
Maybe he's more the softer type in this relationship.
Yeah, I think so,
And maybe
for
you
sure.
need that. And she seems very like calculated, and she tries to keep herself together. She never failed at anything,
That's right.
So she ain't gonna fail at this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I could see that being a tough choice for Izzy between
Yeah,
these two.
and quite honestly, I think he would have probably worked better with Johnny. But I mean, he chose Stacy, so we'll see how it
So-
plays out.
So when Johnny was telling the whole story about her ex who was the addict, and then
Mhm.
they broke up, and then she was married, and then she got the call that her ex had, passed from a drug overdose, and she mentions the only guy I ever loved.
Yet we know she was
Like,
married.
and we know she was married at the time.
That's
so
a
it's like
huge red flag.
that was a
Mhm.
huge red flag.
She's like, yeah, my
'cause
husband was basically like a rebound. I just
Right.
married him.
Like,
lonely.
what?
So that's her red flag.
Like,
to
that's the guy
Izzy.
you married. Was
But Izzy doesn't really. He's just really quiet about it.
I think he's taking it in
Oh,
though.
yeah.
He
Well,
is-
so
and he says he's
dude, like
processing
out of
it.
all the people on this show, you could tell a hell of a lot by Izzy's facial expressions, right? That dude's got freaking facial expressions for everything, and you're like, oh yeah, he's like, oh shit,
I
what I
wish
get myself
he had
into? man?
asked her more about that. I wish he had said, "I need you to clarify. The only person you ever loved, but yet you were married." And then she did.
She went into a little bit.
She went into it a little bit, saying that it was a rebound. But I would need to know more about that situation because you again, you're going to judge somebody on the past. I want to judge people on the present in this moment. And what they're telling me about the past and what they learned from the past. And she seems to have learned from that,
Yeah.
is what she's saying. But
I don't know.
I don't
She's
think
been
she would
married.
pass
The
that.
mom says maybe guys just aren't good.
right.
For, like these are a lot of subtle
Maybe
red
you're-
flags.
maybe
yeah.
you're just not
doesn't
good in a
know that.
relationship.
Yeah,
he
that's true.
doesn't know that. Her mom doesn't think she can be in a relationship.
But I think he dodged a bullet and chose the right person on this one, honestly.
Yeah, probably so. You're probably
I
right.
don't know.
And the
I
way
don't
she
know.
did
'Cause
Chris,
we'll-
and she's like, Chris does all these things, and the fact that she's now trying to go back to Chris after she said more like a friend.
Yeah, now that
This is more the same for me from what she's already said. So I don't think
Exactly.
she's changed
No,
from her past.
and the fact that she twisted her own words around between Chris and freaking and Izzy, And the fact that, I mean,
I
Chris,
don't think she did. I think that Chris misinterpreted what she said.
I don't think she changed the words around. I think she's just being manipulative how she's
I
using
think
it.
how
using
she's
them, there you go. That's a better way to say
portraying,
it.
she's saying the truth, and she's saying the same thing to both of them, but how they're
But
perceiving
differently.
it.
That's
and
why I'm saying
taking
she's
it.
lying with the truth.
exactly. Yeah.
So
She's
Well,
very
that's
manipulative.
their fault, not her fault. She's saying it.
Tell you again that I'm falling in love with you. And when I said I haven't felt this in 7 years, now you know what I mean.
she
Jeez.
even made the comment like, "I'm going to have regrets if I don't walk out here with you." But now she's trying to go to someone else.
Yeah,
Like,
now
come on,
that's
man.
where
Yeah.
like she tried
Yeah.
to go all in on Izzy, and then when she didn't get the return on that, then
Mhm.
she's like, okay, well, let
Backpedaling.
me.
Oh, well, this guy, you know, he was super upset, you know, that I broke up with him. Maybe I
Yeah.
should go with him. And it's like, come
Yeah,
on,
see,
dude.
I don't like all this. I was kind of okay with her, but when all this started happening, I'm like,
No,
nope.
there's
I
definitely a
agree.
lot
When
of
she
red
went
flags
back to
on it.
Chris, that and I would have preferred that she had stuck with her word on that, saying like, I'm all in with you, and that's whatever. And then maybe in the post shows when they all get together, be like, well, we did have a connection, and then maybe pursue something.
Now,
But she's clearly just trying to go back to Chris at this point in time to stay on the show and like.
yeah. Now, I will
Find
say,
something.
now I will say, Chris,
Just like a secure pick. I want to be what you're excited for every day. And I mean, I want to be the love of your life. I want to be your best friend.
he's
Yeah,
very
he's,
smart about
he's trying. I mean, you could tell he's really into her, but he knows he probably shouldn't.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maybe he's thinking, well, I'm not marrying her, so maybe I can still go through with the experiment or
Right.
something.
Right, just to see what
Maybe he's
happens.
trying to do
Yeah.
that. And let me still flesh this out. But I do. Chris is he seems like a good guy.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
Yes.
And I like how Chris and Izzy's relationship are
Yeah.
though,
Yes.
because they're trying to be honest. And like they seem like, hey, I'm giving you this stuff, but it's not malicious. It's,
Yeah.
I really want
Well,
you to find your
well,
person.
Well, Izzy says to Chris, all right, hey, do you want me to tell you this? And then Chris is like, yeah, hit me with it, brother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and Izzy didn't lie about any of it. He
Right.
just said it exactly how she said it. And I was like, dude, that's great, man.
Yeah, I love their two relationship
Yeah.
with each other. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and how
I
they're
agree.
handling. He's like, we're gonna have to get some drinks, you know.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get drunk later.
Which I think is funny because they that gives them, I think, a little clarity in their relationships. But when you have Milton and Uche,
Oh,
Uche
yeah.
asks Milton, you know, he's like, so whatever. Milton's like, yeah, I prefer not to talk about it. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
that,
And he
yeah.
kind of pries a little bit more, and then Milton's like, no, I'm really just not going to talk about it. And then Uche's like,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
respect
all
that.
right. He respects it. But
Yeah.
like, then you find out later that there's, you know, a previous relationship
Uh-huh.
with that. So it's like, what were you really trying to go for there? Were you really just trying to figure out, like, be his buddy at that time and talk it out with him, or were you trying to get some information about your ex
Yeah.
there?
Let's talk about Milton and Lydia. Do
Yeah.
this
Dude,
couple stand a
these two.
chance in hell?
Hell no.
No.
She is going to see this poor guy and she's going to be like, nope, 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 nope.
She seems kind of wild, and he's very nerdy.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna mix well.
No, they are not, dude. I mean,
And she already has this other thing for Uche.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I don't know that she's. Maybe she does still have feelings for Uche because she was the
She
one
does,
who was
man.
trying to
She
say
does.
maybe we should
Yeah.
pursue this. And he's
Again,
the
they
one
just
who
slept
said,
together 3
"You're
months
right."
ago, right? So,
Yeah. Which is weird because they said they met in 2020. So I'm like,
yeah.
how did you
Which
sleep
is
with her
why
3
I
months
think
ago?
the 3 month ago
2020?
thing was like maybe
It was like a random hookup. Like,
yeah.
hey, yeah, that's more what it was. I
which
think.
is
Maybe.
why you really, and maybe that's why Aaliyah was like, wait a second.
Oh, yeah.
You told me this. She told me this.
Yeah, in Uche's mind, he's like, look, you know, this is just a physical hookup, you know, whatever, you know, when I'm not with her anymore, but she's calling me to hook up, so whatever, dude, I'm gonna go do this because I'm single. She's single.
whatever,
I'm
she's
single.
single.
I'm single. She's single still. So
I broke
you know,
her
whatever.
heart. She thinks that she has something with me. She doesn't, but we can hook up. It's fine.
Well, we don't know exactly how it went down, so
We don't.
I do kind of feel for Milton and stuff, and he
Oh,
takes
yeah.
it pretty
I do.
hard when Lydia breaks the news to him that she knows
Mm-hmm.
Uche, and he does take a moment.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't even see them really vibing too well in the pods,
I don't
really.
either.
So
she is.
Yeah.
She is.
I think
she-
she's pushing.
She's not. He's not even like a close second for her. He's like a distant second for her from freaking what damn Izzy was.
Izzy,
You know? And
yeah.
So at this point, I'm disappointed in her for even dragging Milton along. It's not going to work. You know, it is not. I think deep down, she
I'd
knows
be
it's not.
surprised. I hope it does, but I would be shocked.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
I
super
don't
shocked.
even see their connection.
No.
I mean,
It's like more
again,
like a
we
brother,
only
sister
see.
kind of
At one
connection,
point, Sheba says, "Can I speak?" And then it's like a positive thing. That was a weird moment.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, their
but
relationship.
maybe he
man,
can be patient with her, and I think she needs someone to be patient with.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. It's not going to work. She's not going to be attracted to that dude when he freaking walks out of the damn shoot. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe she's in love with his brain and
Yeah, maybe.
Pokemon really was a turn on. I don't know.
They can bond on
Yeah.
geology.
Right.
Like she can come home and talk about work, and he might be
He might actually
interested.
be interested.
I mean, you want your woman coming home and talking about rocks, and you're like,
Yeah, it's okay.
Anything else we need to explore here? Anything we're
Nah, man, I mean,
missing?
you know,
here? Any
again-
couples? I think we covered them all.
I think we're missing a lot of couples, but that's not our fault.
Where's Jackson, man?
Netflix fault, right? But I think again, so we see the previews to the next several episodes, and they make it look like there's gonna be a lot of drama between, like, even with Taylor and freaking PJ or JP. Wasn't JP or PJ?
JP.
Yeah, JP. And I think they're trying to gaslight us there.
Yeah,
On that.
I
one.
think so. I hope so. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll see how that goes.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Lydia is an issue, and I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny is an issue.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
I mean, you don't even really know what happens with Johnny. Is she still?
Well, Johnny's gonna make it.
You think he's
with
gonna
Chris,
accept?
but I think
Yeah.
she's gonna be interested in
Well, then in the previews we see Aaliyah come back, right? So we see her get to come sit down and talk with
Well,
Uche.
they're at least talking.
They're
but I
talking.
don't know if they're together.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see how that
And
goes.
she has a different look to her.
Yeah, she got her hair, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but she has this upset face on. So I'm like,
Did Netflix think this was going to happen when they started this whole project 5 seasons ago? That because I know the last 2 or 3 seasons, relationships were formed outside of the pods after the pod moments.
Now-
or did they think all the relationships would be formed in the pods? Everybody goes their separate ways, except for the pod people. Everything's all
Well, I mean, I guess it's part of the thing too now, right? Like with having the issue with Uche and freaking Lydia have dated previously. In today's technologically advanced world that we have, people are dating all the time on freaking online dating apps and all that shit. So
Could they not have figured that out? Houston is a huge city.
no, it is. Well, and it's got a ton of different suburbs, right? You guys,
Yeah,
it's
so, like,
freaking ginormous.
maybe they did it on purpose.
You've got 15 men and 15 women, and you couldn't find 15 men and women that had never
seen
crossed paths
each other, right.
before.
Maybe
Come on.
Uche gets around a lot. So-
Maybe that's where the red flag is.
Maybe,
That they couldn't narrow it down to people they had.
Like, we tried, bro.
right. We tried finding like 15 chicks this dude hadn't dated. We couldn't find. We found 14, so we had to bring one back into the fold.
I will tell you, we watched a Dallas season once of something, and you were excited to see the hometowns because you're from Dallas. I'm from Houston, so I'm excited to see some hometowns, and maybe there'll be areas I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm liking it so far. I'm rooting for JP, and I'm also rooting for Izzy.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it works out. I like it.
Those two. Those two couples.
Yeah. I really hope JP and Taylor work, man. They just seem like perfect match in this. And then
Sugar and Sugar Butt. Don't forget.
Sugar and Sugar Butt.
And I like Chris, but I think he's gonna get screwed here.
Oh, he told dude, if he ends up proposing to Johnny, it's not gonna be good for him. I hope he sticks with his head and says, you know what, nah, man, this just ain't it.
I was following Chris because he's talking about the family stuff, and Izzy's kind of looking for that too, like the guy. So I'm like,
So you think
man,
Chris
she
and
didn't
Izzy-
appreciate it. Johnny's like, boring.
So you think Chris and Izzy should?
They should.
There you go.
So
Chris and Izzy,
Yeah.
and then Lydia and Aaliyah, and
Right.
now the whole show is just
Dude.
taking a different twist.
Well, I'll tell you, Stacy surprised me because like she was staying out of all the drama and all the stuff
yeah.
in the room. But then when Lydia came in feeling sad, Stacy went up and said, hey, and started.
Yeah. Well, she
consoling
was
her
the
and stuff,
closest
so-
to the door. You gotta
Yeah.
it's girl code. You know, you got a girl coming in
Yeah,
crying.
well, I
okay.
didn't
You
like
gotta
how
go
Johnny's
for
like, it's not going to work out with him. Like, how do you know, man? You sound a little bitter and
Right.
jealous of Stacy.
Oh,
so-
no, she totally is
Yeah.
about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was hurt, and that was like yeah, I see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there you have it. That is the first 4 episodes of season 5 down. I mean, it sounds like next week maybe we'll have one more pod episode, and then we'll get into the real stuff.
Yeah,
after that.
How
normally
many
they get to
episodes next
the
week? 2 or 3?
Three more.
normally they get to the vacations by now. So
Yeah.
it's showing us a little bit more pod action
Yeah,
this
exactly.
season.
Is
And
that
right now-
is that disappointing? Does that mean that there's less action?
I don't know.
after
Well,
the
I mean,
pod?
so we've only got 3 confirmed couples at this point right now, right? So it's not a whole lot. You know,
So
compared to what we
it sounds
normally
like that 4, and we don't know what will happen with Uche.
have. Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
I guess we're going to find out. But hey, there you go, folks. Please tell us what you thought about this episode. Let us know what you think about these couples and the ones who didn't make it, or like Josh, he had a couple of favorites that he had that we didn't really see.
where's
much of.
Renee?
No, right, exactly. But hey, let us know what you thought about it. We love talking to you guys, and until next time, we will check you at our next review.
Later.
See ya.